In this episode, we sat down with Rabbi Yitzy Ackerman, who's known for his engaging, passionate, and inspirational talks. He teaches both newlyweds, grooms, brides, many young adolescents and students across the globe. Not only that, for Jews who are unaffiliated, he draws them closer with his powerful words and his tremendous insight into Judaism. We discussed many topics ranging from both the devastation of hostages, how we could bring light practically in a relatable way to each and every person, and what he's doing to really be able to alleviate the pain that the hostages' families are going through. We also discussed many different concepts of how to have a meaningful and deep relationship with the challenges that come with it, as well as the beauty of a flourishing and deep, meaningful relationship. I'm so excited to bring you this new episode. We covered so many topics, and I can't wait to see all the comments that you leave below, letting us know your thoughts. This podcast episode is sponsored in memory of Gittel Bas Yitzhak Isaac and Ben Sion Ben Tzvi Hirsch. And with that, let's hop into this incredible episode.
This is Mo.
And this is Aryeh.
And you're listening to
The Relatable Podcast. Let's do it.
Wait, Rebbe, before you put away the guitar, can we get the new song?
Which one?
The one on Spotify, let's go.
Yeah.
Wait, can we get a small introduction? What is this song?
So this song I wrote for the Cooperstein family, and more correct, for Julie Cooperstein. Julie Cooperstein is the mother of Bar Avram ben Julia, that you all know. His picture is right outside Beis Medrash. I met her last year with Yeshiva in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv. I used to bring yeshivas there to the Hostage Square in Tel Aviv to have kumzitzim. Was fire beyond fire. Crazy. People felt like wherever you go to kumzitz, people are in the mood of singing, but there they came like with a kiruv shlichus. They felt they want to do that, and she was standing there, and she spoke very shy. I think it was the first time speaking in public, and then we became very good friends. And she came to a few places where I played, and then one time I was in Hostage Square. She was supposed to come, but it was very nevach. I came on my own without yeshivas. So I played for like a half hour, and I had another gig in Yerushalayim. So I was like, okay, l'chai, v'shuvu b'meira, bye. On my way home, she calls me, where are you? I told her I just left Tel Aviv. She told me, are you crazy? I'm here with a group of people from Austria, and
We need you.
I told her, I'm sorry, I can't come back. She told me, you'll pay for it. You'll pay. תשלם על זה. So I wrote the song on the way home.
Wow.
And I let her hear it. From the second I write a song until I sing it in public, it takes a long time. I'm not confident. I have my kids that give me like that. I don't hear
This
a song.
part, I don't know.
No, it looks like all your other songs. It's nothing like, but Baruch Hashem, I sang it in public in a camp, American-Israeli camp in Yerushalayim. The guys were singing a beautiful video. So I sent it to her. I sent it to another person from the organization that works with her. And it took another half a year until I brought it out. And now when they started coming out, so I put out that song.
Wow. Which means what?
Those who are hostage, it's a tefillah. They should come back berina, with happiness and joy. And the second part is kiyesh sachar lifulasech. It's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Rachel Imeinu. Don't cry, or continue crying, or don't cry. Don't worry, there is reward for your working. V'shavu banim ligvulam. Don't worry, they would come back one day.
Wow.
So this is the. So we'll do just the high part.
For sure.
Kiyesh yesh sachar lifulatech. Oy v'shavu banim ligvulam. Kiyesh yesh sachar lifulatech. Oy v'shavu banim ligvulam.
That was powerful. I was not expecting that. Wow.
So when I send it to that lady from that organization, I'm waiting for 3-4 minutes to see her respond. And she's like, send me your passport.
Oh my
That
God.
was in the middle of Bein Hazmanim of August. Send me your passport. I told her, what's the deal? She told me 16, 17 September, are you available? Yes, I'm available. Passport? So yes, I'm available. Well, what's the deal? She told me we're going with a group of hostage families to Reb Shaila. They're not religious. I mean, by the book, by the whatever, like they're not defined it as a religious, but we're going to Reb Shaila to daven, and I want you to come as well. And I was very scared. I was very, very scared to go because I sing my Jewish songs. I mean, the Hasidic songs, Kalbach and the other. How can I relate? Like, what would I do there? It was the craziest 48 hours in my life. It was my, I think, 6th time already by Reb Shaila. And Baruch Hashem, I go out with groups, with yeshivas and stuff. It was 48 hours, craziest 48 hours of my life in terms of emotions.
Wow.
I found myself crying. It's just to look around and to know her son is in Gaza, her daughter's in Gaza, her son, her father, her brother, his whatever. Like everyone from the first, like, or son,
Immediate
father.
family.
Crazy. So before we went, I asked her, could I be natural? Could I be myself? Or it's like a depressing situation. I mean, be yourself. You could make leitzanis. You could do whatever you feel. We just landed in Hungary.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going out. Am Israel, Am Israel.
Whoa.
I'm like, you guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. But yes, they continued in life. That was the happy points. You know, we go to sleep, we get up, we drive to Reb Shaila, 2 hours ride. There, they asked me to take out the guitar, so I started, yo. Imagine the situation. I'm not in a yeshiva bus vibe. I'm not in a yeshivish bus vibe. It's people where the ages are average 30 to 60. No yarmulkes, no
completely.
covered hair. Yo. And I explain the song. There's nothing to explain in yo.
It's just
So I made up an explanation. I said the first yo is like, it's an expression of davening. I'm begging for things that I'm davening for. And then Reb Shaiber, Reb Moshe, Bune Chayim Ezoinu. We're davening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'schus the tzaddik to give us health, happiness, kids, parnasa. And then the second oy is the thanking oy. So they all love the explanation. We're singing for bringing. And I have a new song for you. Let's go for it one more time. Oy.
oh my god.
I just want to get to the end of that trip. Where's the explosion of emotions? We go up to the caver. We dive in there. It was amazing siyata d'shmaya as well. Shai Graucher wasn't part of our trip, but he was there by coincidence, no coincidence. He put all the pictures of the family members in the caver. Families came up there. Some of them had pictures, some of them didn't. But some of them that did not have, they were like, I needed the picture. One of the parents, his name is Eliyahu Shtivi. His son is still there in Gaza. He was like, he felt like, I don't have my son's picture. He walks into the caver and he sees his son smiling to him.
Wow.
It opened the emotions there. Like it was very, very special. Very, very special moments. We finished the davening, going back into the bus, quiet on the bus. We did drink there. It's a part of the, you go to Shaila. We don't want, it's for the hostage family. They drank l'chaim here, l'chaim here. So I got on the bus and there was quiet on the bus. I sat on the first bench and Eliyahu Shtivi was sitting right next to me. And I took the microphone. I'm like, in Hebrew, obviously. Toda rabba shechazar, as if we're like in a TV show now. Toda rabba shechazartem, and thank you for getting back to us here in Channel 15. And with me, very special person. You might know him, you might don't know him, but I have with me right now Eliyahu Shtivi, which his son is still in Gaza, 385 days. Eliyahu Shtivi, how are you? Now he's playing the game with me. We're starting making leitzanis, just joking. Everybody's listening, and then I'm like, Eliyahu Shtivi, I know you for less than 24 hours. Who I'm sure one of your family members are there. Who's there? And he starts talking about his son Idan, and he starts crying. But he's Kilo on TV, just playing the game, but he's in the game, and it's only family members on the bus, so he feels very, very free to talk. And he talks, and he starts crying. The lady organizing the trip, Ms. Geveret Siton, she's writing to me on WhatsApp, you are crazy. The next one is Meirav Berger. Meirav Berger got very, very famous now 2 weeks ago when her daughter came out. She was Shomer Shabbos and everything.
Yeah.
The next one I'm calling up, he's finishing his interview. That was Idan Shtivi, Eliyahu Shtivi, gave applause and the whole bus is clapping. And now, with me, you won't believe it, Meirav Berger. She comes up and we're having, Kitzur, 48 hours of interviews. of laughing, making leitzanis, and then going deep into Simchas Torah.
Wow.
Her daughter, her son. I'm nonstop thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu for giving me that ability. Out of this world. It's not my personality in new places. It was a siyata dishmaya out of this world. Baruch Hashem.
That's an unbelievable story. So powerful. Just out of curiosity, why are you taking unaffiliated Yidden to Reb Shaila?
Because, so first of all, it's not me taking, it's
Right.
that organization. I think the answer is by the fact that they're coming. Is the fact, they all, first of all, they all traditional in a sense. But the last trip we had a month ago, we had people that are, I'm saying again, it's definitions that who cares about definitions? By the definition, they consider themselves as left wings, liberals, unbelievable,
most.
nothing.
Yeah.
Why are you coming? I asked Mrs. Nakunyo, Nitza Krongold. Nitza Krongold, her son is there in Gaza. She is like by the paper, by the
books.
Wikipedia. She's a Chiloni. What are you doing here? She told me, listen, I tried everything. If there's anything out there, I want to talk to him. I want to connect to him. I want to ask him for my son to come back. And they're davening. It's you get chalishut hadat. You like, you're jealous. I'm standing there by the caver. You know, sometimes we go to Kavarim. Rabbi Fisher always says, emotions are not like a button you could press. He says it usually before Rosh Hashanah. If you don't feel it, doesn't mean that Rosh Hashanah does not exist. Don't force it, and it doesn't mean anything about your Rosh Hashanah. But I come there, but it's annoying when you come to the cave.
You want to be inspired and uplifted.
I want to cry, and I come there. The Chayze Milublin. We came there this time, like,
Hey, what's up, guys?
this is the Chayze. And I'm trying to tell myself, all these parents have kids in Gaza. Nothing's moving there. It's locked, totally locked. They're in davening, all the parents. You see them in sparks. So why are they going? I don't know. The fact that they're going is because they're trying everything.
There's a little bit of hope that they're holding on to.
Yeah, and you know, one of the mothers that came with us, she defined it herself to me. Her son came yesterday actually.
Oh, wow. On Shabbos.
Yelena Tarfanov, her son Sasha was there. She's defined, she's worse. She told me, I'm a communist. She comes from Russia. She's with a Russian accent. We don't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything. Mm-hmm. She's a Shomer Shabbos today.
What?
She's Shomer Shabbos. She drove Erev Shabbos to the place where she's about to meet her son.
Oh my gosh.
She's a real Shomer Shabbos. And it's not just emotions davening by a caver. She is Shomer Shabbos. She does everything. She went to Reb Zilberstein to ask before how exactly to do it according to halacha when I meet my son. Her mother, Irena, walked from Akfar HaMaccabiyah to the hospital because she's also Shomer Shabbos today.
It's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yo, we're not normal. Jews are so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's really wild.
Yeah, and it's inspiring. From, you know, there is the sentence in Israel nonstop. Bati lechazek v'yatzati mechuzak. I came to be mechazek and I get chizuk myself.
Nice.
So this is what happens to me when I go with them. Literally, you get chizuk and the specific avodas Hashem for every person, not just spirituality. You want to be a better yid. Look at her. She's walking to the hospital. A lady, I don't know, she should be 70 years old. Hashem Yazor for all of us. We should be bechizuk.
It's wild.
Whoa. What a powerful story. I'm so excited. We didn't even dive into any of the conversation. We didn't prepare for this at
sorry
all.
for the explosion.
No, I love it.
So good.
Seconds,
And
sorry.
I think that's going to be...
And I think it is the point I could put down the guitar.
the greatest hook of all time.
It's a great aesthetic.
I'm
I'll
pretty
hold
sure
it.
anybody that's listening right now, they got to this point, is going to fly through the rest of the episode. So I'm really excited. You can put it on the table, Rabbi. I don't want it to fall. L'chaim,
Can I hold it for a little bit? I want to feel cool.
Just to dive right into it. Ari and I did not come prepared. We didn't write down questions. We didn't do research. We wanted to just come in completely present and as open as possible. So I want you to introduce yourself a little bit. Who are you? What do you do?
Okay.
What are you involved with? Some of the hats you wear, maybe.
So it's gonna sound like a cliche. I don't know myself. It sounds like so cliche, but bemet, all these things that Baruch Hashem today that I'm doing is bemet. It's not even. It is a siyata dishmaya, but I was literally dragged into doing kumzitzim. I would never ever dream that I would do kumzitzim. So let's go back. My name is Yitzy Ackerman.
Rabbi
Hi,
Yitz.
Shalom,
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Shema, toda rabba. Thank you so much. Toda rabba.
The reach.
I grew up in Yerushalayim, Israeli-American home. I learned in yeshiva. I went to Kollel for a long time, for 12 years. And learning in Kollel, and I was a very, very, very not tough call, I don't know the right word, but there is a lot of amount you need to learn and take tests. You don't think about you don't do other stuff. Like in a point where I got in the second year in Kollel, I stopped doing daf yomi because you cannot learn other stuff besides what you're learning in Kollel. Wow. You don't have time to think about other stuff. It's your house and Kollel. I used to leave the house at 7:30 in the morning and get here at 7 o'clock at night, whacked, go to sleep, get up and go to Yerushalayim the next day. It was lachatz, but the best
years?
For the first 4 years I learned in Kollel here in Yerushalayim, in Kiryat Sefer, and then I moved to Kollel in Yerushalayim for 8 years, close to 8 years.
And you enjoy that, or?
It's something you can't express. It's not fun. It's not like fun,
right.
But it's it's
meaningful.
It's the highest thing that a person could. I wish to myself nonstop to get back there.
Really?
I wish to myself, I'm not able to today. I'm still davening. My wife is still davening that I'll get back there. You live with peaceful. You live with peace with yourself. You're doing the right thing. You're steiging. The Torah has the umesuki midvash v'noifes sufim. It's the most sweet thing in the world, and it's gishmak. You can't explain it. You just cannot explain it. When you're there, you're there. But I have the other side of me that I just shut
suppressed,
down.
Right?
I shut down that part of talking to people and doing things.
Creativity,
Creativity and being in public, which I like it. I love it. And I just covered it. I put it down for all these years. And I remember even the last year, the house was much smaller. The phone used to be over here because there's no reception here. Just gula for shlombayis. The phone used to stand over here. And we were sitting for supper. The kids are sleeping. And whenever I heard the phone ring, I used to tell my wife, you know what? I hope this is a phone that would change my life. In the last year I was in the Kollel, I was already 31, 32, 33 maybe.
Wow.
I needed od mashu. Like how long could you
suppress a whole part of yourself?
It's a part of you. It's a part that's there. Like it's there waiting to pop and to do things. I used to do a kumzitz once a year in a camp I used to work, Camp Adirim in Yerushalayim. It's American-Israeli camp. Once a year, last day of camp, that was my kumzitz. Zehu. I wanted to play in public. I loved it. I loved inspiring people. I wanted to talk. I felt like I could share stories or feelings of emotions through the music. You know, when you stop the music and you have like a 20-minute good story. I wanted to do that. It was so hard. So the last year I was in Kollel, Baruch Hashem, I started getting calls for kumzitzim. I don't remember exactly how it led to it, but then I met Rabbi Fisher, and I started teaching in yeshiva. I met Rabbi Fisher. It was Motzei Simchas Torah. Zusha came to yeshiva,
Sick.
and I went to put gas in my car, and I heard music coming from that area. So
No way.
let's see what's that place. I knew there is a yeshiva, but I came to the yeshiva, and I had.
Was it a culture shock? Were you like, what is going on?
No, because my brothers are teaching in American yeshivas. I have one brother in Imre Bina, and I have another brother in centers.
Nice.
So I know
Nice.
the diverse. I know that the types of yeshivas. It's not a culture shock, but I was shocked by the Shalom Aleichem.
Nice.
Wow,
I
by the
felt
warmth.
like in second, I knew them all.
Wow.
Now there was even more siyata d'shmaya for the clique. It was a day after Simchas Torah, the Chol HaMoed. You don't do wash, you don't do clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So my socks were in the washing machine. Like I went out to put gas with my shoes with no socks. I come there, everyone's dancing with no shoes and socks.
No
way!
That's Minhag HaMakom.
Let's go.
I just took off my shoes. Rabbi Isai, how are you, people?
I'm the family
I'm
part.
with, and
wow.
Rome act like a Rome.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
I finished there, and Reb Tzvi Sklar, which I knew him from much before, he pulled me to Rabbi Fisher, and Rabbi Fisher told me,
nice.
okay, come here.
Yalla.
Okay,
He's so
come
cool. I
here.
love how he does that. He's just like,
Yeah.
You're
we're signing the
excited.
deal. Like,
Yeah, let's go.
nice.
Start tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's not really tomorrow. It was a week later. I started teaching in yeshiva. And it's the first time that, first of all, I get a paycheck. That wasn't a thing, but the paycheck is not the money, but it's more I'm committed to someone. I'm committed to do something. I'm committed here in yeshiva. I need to do. Now, what am I supposed to do? Rabbi Fisher's like, I don't know. Do your thing. I don't know. Drink coffee with them. Learn. Do whatever. Do yourself. What's myself? What does that mean? I don't know. I saw you out there with the boys. Like you had a nice conversation. You were with them. Yeah, but right now we're in Beis Medrash. There's no concert going on. There's a table with 5 like. Took me a long time, and then maybe it's until this day. When I work, I'm still not over these 12 years in Kollel. When I work,
of what? Give me a structure, and I'll follow that.
Tell me this. That yeah, it's a lot of like, okay, I'm supposed to do. There was a lot of challenges. There. I was in Fishers for 4.5 years. I can't put my finger about the challenges. I think maybe the first challenge was wherever I met people until that day were my friends. Now they are not your friends. They're your talmidim. But for me, they're my friends. So I'm boys with them. And I don't remember if Rabbi Fisher said it to me clear, but he tried making the points. They're not your friends. They don't see you as your friends. When they'll go out, they won't invite you. You're the Rebbe. You should stay there. Don't come down to us.
Wow.
It was one of the challenges.
Whoa.
But once I'm there and I'm already working, so I started doing more music and more gigs came up.
Nice.
So, the music gigs started at very, very, very strong, plus being a Rebbe. At the same time, I got a call from a rabbi in Esha Torah. He told me he has a program called Meet the Israelis. Meet the Israelis is
Still around. I've heard of it. No?
Could be, yes. Yeah, for sure.
It's a great name.
Meet the Israelis. We are a diverse of Israelis that the Israeli society could afford. We have a settler, right-wing activist, a left-wing activist. Like sometimes he brings also a reform rabbi-ish, rabbi woman. They have an Israeli Arab, a soldier, and we need a Haredi as well. We're spreading around the room, and every Israeli is sitting in a different corner. Like 40, 50 students are coming into the room. Every 5, 6, 7 students is sitting with a different Israeli. Every 15 minutes, we Israelis switch. And in 2 hours, you got to see all the types of Israelis.
Genius.
It's beautiful. For my hope that time of doing other stuff, it was like,
very cool.
Yeah.
It was a new thing. But Mitzad Sheni was really scary. Like, what am I telling them? So I'm starting telling about my life story. Now, the life story is not so interesting.
Right. I got married. I go to Kollel for 12 years.
And I'm learning Torah. So with a little imagination, you can make every challenge of the Yitzy Hara, you can make it into a huge story.
Show me,
we meet the Yitzy Hara. I don't know about, I'm sure you're big tzaddikim, so you meet him once a day. I meet him like 2,000 times a day in every aspect. And you tell them about that, and they come from like it's birthright groups. They come knowing zero about the inner light. They know that we do lulav and we do weird things. They don't know that in here we are going through a journey, a life every single day for every person that has some awareness to Hashem. You go through ups and downs in your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So I did it for a long time. And then one time, one of the madrichot of Birthright, I saw her coming after me. Every group that I was going, she comes after me and she told me, listen, what you're doing here is a joke. You go to a group, 20 minutes, not even, 15 minutes having a conversation, few questions, go to the next group. I don't know you. I don't know you. I want you to do whatever you do at the group for 15 minutes. Do it for an hour.
Whoa. Wow. You're getting bumped up.
It was a pacha. Like, what could I sell them for an hour? So the first time was really scary, but Baruch Hashem was amazing. It was amazing. I'm telling them my life story in 30 minutes, but then Q&A for as long as you want. And it takes 2 hours, another 2 hours. Whoa. They're so curious about who you are, what are you doing, what are you struggling with, what does your life look like? You could go for hours. And this is with Americans. And Baruch Hashem, now I do it with Israelis as well. And even though they live here, like Tel Aviv is 20 minutes away, they know
as well.
Modi'in as well. Yeah, I just had one in Modi'in 3-4 weeks ago. They know zero about us. When I say about us,
Really?
it's not about our culture, it's about what happens here. What happens here, your challenges. I'm sure if I'll sit with you guys and I'll go through your day, I'm sure we can make not a book, but at least for every single day, you woke up, okay. Oh, you woke up, yeah.
That's a whole story in itself.
Okay, but I'm
Slow
saying
down.
it's a challenge. It's a challenge that
the whole chapter.
It's a chapter about waking up in the morning.
And how did I wake up? Did I give a smile to my roommate? Did I just brush
Did I
past them?
snooze 12 times? Did I?
Right.
Did I make Zman Krishna? Am I bichlal? I'm curious about it. Did I put on? Did I daven? Am I struggling with
Did I
it?
Kavana davening? Did I?
How
So
about
okay, so there's certain areas that we're not struggling with.
Right.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth. If I didn't have kavana for half of Shemona Esrei, I'm now walking out of that Shemona Esrei like, oh my God, no. One day I'll get there. That will be a struggle of mine. But struggles and stuff and back and forth conversations with Hakadosh Baruch Hu nonstop. This whole thing, they're not aware, and it's a schus that I'm not a professional. Bichlal, I'm that guy from the street that's talking to them, and I tell them that I have the privilege of telling you that I don't know some questions because I'm not professional. I don't have any degree about the Haredi life. I'm that random guy in the street that you have the opportunity to ask him the questions. I was with my wife in IKEA. Oh my, 1 second. Again.
Yeah, go.
Is that? I'm like,
Great.
non-stop
You cook.
talking. You guys.
I want to ask. I want you to get into the story. I was about to say, we want to stop for a second, but I'm
Okay,
happy you
Mitsuya.
rolled it into next. I'm
Baruch
comfortable with that.
Shekivanti.
But I want to ask, why do you think you're so talented at that? What particularly do you have to say, or what actions do you do that particularly connects with them?
So I think every person in the world could do it. Every person in the world could do it. Just besiyata dishmaya. I have
Yeah,
an
but Rabbi, that
opportunity.
sounds way too humble.
But
there
it's
has to be
not.
something
And
that you're
I'll
doing.
tell you my
You're doing
raya.
something right, Rabbi. That's not the answer.
Okay, so I have two answers. First of all, I'll stick to the first answer, that it was mamish besiyata dishmaya.
That give you the opportunity. I think
That
I was
I-
asking,
that-
what do you actually practice that we could do when we meet somebody?
You'll do mistakes in the first times.
Okay.
And then professional is someone that did make by the books. Professional is someone that has a degree. But the real professional is someone that did the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And he learned from his own mistakes. So maybe today after 500 times that I had these groups, so maybe I could call it a professional. But if I'm not being humble, it's a chisaron of mine that people around me are my brother called TMI. Like, the guy doesn't know you. 3 minutes ago, he knows you. Why are you opening yourself to him all about your chesroinus and your failures and
flaws
things?
and
I feel comfortable. I'm not embarrassed to tell them about my struggles and about who I am, and people connect to it. When you talk about yourself and you're very like, this
Real.
is who I am,
Yeah.
Zani. So people around me, they're it's like kind of I'm just imagining my oldest son right now is 15 years old. He won't be watching this, but when I walk with him sometimes, and as much as he'll get older, it's gonna be even more. Tati, you don't know the guy. Why are you telling him that? Like, what's wrong with you? It's with my wife, with my brothers. It's gonna happen with my son as well. But people connect to it. People love it. Like, you're open about yourself. Back to Fishers, I was very, 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 very open with the Talmidim, and I felt like when when guys called me Rebbe, I'm Yitzy, not from a place of humble. I know myself. I know myself. I got used to it. Okay, beseder, mitzuyan. But I'm still struggling with things that you are struggling with. Kilu, we're in the same place. And it's hard in a sense, but in the other hand, in the world of these lectures, this is what people love the most.
I think you're straight up speaking the language of relatable. That's the entire mission.
Ken.
Like, you struggle with waking up in the morning. I struggle with waking up in the morning. The tzaddik over there struggles with waking up. We're all on the same page.
Yeah.
insecurities, anxieties,
Yeah.
doubts.
Yeah.
These are common, even if he's not struggling with waking up in the morning.
Right.
Yeah,
This is
other
why-
struggles that here I
That's why I wanted to push that question of what do you have to you that everybody can relate to and that everybody really connects with.
So
It's the
kanireh
fact
it's
of
that ability.
vulnerability.
Yeah, so kanireh it's that ability, and and it's not an ability. It's just natural. When I feel, I know a person is when I feel very, very comfortable. I don't need to hide anything and to tell him, to show him myself. This is what I have to offer. It comes in my kumzitzim when people call for a kumzitz, and now they never met me before. They heard the name. Automatically, when you hear the name from other people, automatically
Glorifies it,
looks
yeah.
like I tell him right away, listen, Baruch Hashem, 90% of the kumzitzim are going well. Sometimes I'm not able to get the crowd going. Why are you saying it? To just say, yes, I'm Mr. Professional and I do it well. And when I sing the crowd, I feel secured when I'm telling him this is what I have to offer. I could send you some videos and some calls of other Rosh Hashivas that took me, but I hope it's going to be
This is me.
V'zeu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think when you get to that level, everybody else, your past clients are selling you to your new clients. They're Yitzy Ackerman, you got to get him. He's the best guy. And that's it. Game over.
Wow.
Now, I hope to get to the next level where the name should go out.
Do you think it changes because your time bad? We call it vulnerability, just being open and real to other people. Maybe transparency. By the way, somebody said.
I like that more.
Yeah, somebody said that in Fishers, like in the circles that we're associated with, it's not being vulnerable. Sometimes it's like an act to be open. Like, I'm going to share this with you. And then there's like transparency. Like, this is where I'm holding. This is what I struggle with. Like, let's just talk and relate to one another. It's a different.
Yeah.
So transparency is what's coming out for me.
For me, it was a culture shock when I came to Fishers.
Yeah.
And seeing everyone around me like that. It is the Rebbe's with the Talmidim. It's not. But right? Correct me if I'm.
Rabbi Fisher is very open.
Rabbi Fisher
right.
is the Mr. Achi Patuach Ba'olam. Like, this is why I'm, and his Mesilas Yesharim Shir, it's a struggle of mine. It's something but it is not something common.
Yeah.
And maybe it's wrong. I'm not saying for Rabbi Fisher. For me, I'm nonstop telling maybe it's wrong. Be the Rebbe, that perfect Rebbe that doesn't struggle. He sees you as a tzaddik. Why are you opening yourself and telling him your struggles? He wants to rely on you as a tzaddik. So maybe it's wrong for me to be open too much. But mitzad sheni, I can't work on it. I feel like a liar when he's like, no, because Rebbe is a tzaddik. Rebbe's in a different... No, let's don't play the tzaddik game. I'm not a tzaddik, and I'm strong, and I could relate to what you're going through because I'm going through the same. I don't have the same thing exactly, but I'm struggling also.
Well, what are some common struggles that you see that most people have a shared common?
I don't have any specific struggle that we're both struggling mamash on the same level. Look, if that guy is struggling with a phone or with girls, Baruch Hashem, I'm past that. Mazit past. In my generation, 15 years ago, but we didn't have that stuff. But I am struggling as well with you walk in the streets and you watch your eyes. We're both in the same family of Kedusha. Yes, it's in a different level, but the feelings are the same level. The feelings are the same feeling. When you didn't watch your eyes in the high level and you feel... I don't know if it's the same feeling, but I feel you.
Yeah.
We're
in the same boat. I can relate to what you're going through.
You're not davening. So, Baruch Hashem, I am davening, but I missed this tefillah b'minyan 3 days in a row or more. I don't know. I missed davening. I understand. I feel you, Achi. I feel so. Maybe you're not davening at all in the last half a year, but I know you're struggling of davening.
Yeah.
We're struggling.
And what does that do? I just want to break down that process. So now we're in the same boat. I guess I feel like I'm not alone in this. Is that what it does?
Yes. And again, you're asking me as if I have a mesudar.
No, of course.
And that's why I'm saying maybe I'm wrong. Because, okay, we got to the level where we're both struggling with the same thing. Now what? I don't know. I just feel you. And maybe the way what's helping me is, and I'll tell them what's helping me. And we're still struggling. And I'm not sure that what I'll tell you will overcome you every nisayan. But what helps me is this and this and this and this. But we're in the same area. So
I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. That we're all in this together.
We're this and we're struggling. And it's the avoida is not to... I'm thinking about it a lot. We're talking a lot about, we're hearing, what's your purpose in life? What's your purpose in life? And we feel like the purpose in life is... When we say purpose of life is when you'll be 60, like to reach the purpose of life. That's the beginning of Mesilas Yesharim, is the Olam Haba. That's the purpose of this whole life. So if the purpose of life is Olam Haba, this all struggle, your small victory here and your small failure and back to victory, that's the purpose of life. That's the purpose. I don't have a set goal. What do I want to be when I'll be 80? No, I'm giving HaKadosh Baruch Hu to run my life. Do I want to be a singer? Do I want to be a rabbi? Do I want to give lecture? I don't know. I still don't know, but I'm living life. I have my chavrusas in my sdarim of learning, and when I get a call for a gig of lectures, is this, and when I get a call for be an MC or a gig kumsitz, whatever, I do that. But all the struggles in the middle, Hashem is sending me this, and just do my ratzain. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, do my ratzain. So I'll give you a struggle through here, overcome it. Or if you fail, jump up, go back and forth, bein adam lachavera, and all the stuff that you meet when you go out to the business world. You meet non-stop nisyonos from HaKadosh Baruch Hu in all areas. Just overcome them. I don't have a goal for when I'm 80. I'm trying just to make the best for the olam haba, because that's the purpose of life.
Rabbi, I struggle connecting with the quote from Yitzy Ackerman that we're living for the next world. What does that really mean?
That means that I'm sure you have right now, you build a beautiful platform for yourself, and you do have a certain goals for the next few years. Do you have a goal for life? When I'm 50, I want this and this and this. So a lot of people in this whole world tells us that, yes, you should have a certain goal. How do I want to see? It's nice, but the main thing, the MSDika thing, is for the next world. I'll try explaining it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful goal to be 60 years old. I don't know. What's your dream for when you're 50 years old?
Yeah,
it's too far.
He's just trying to get married right now, let's be honest. Yeah.
I have that goal. But even that goal is not the goal. The goal is to get to Olam Haba a winner. And to get to Olam Haba winner is to go through all the struggles in life, struggle with them, overcome them, fall again, get back up, fall down.
Just like I'm saying, I can't give you a goal for 70. How am I supposed to give you a goal for Olam Haba? I can't even imagine that. I can't picture that. I don't know what it looks like.
It doesn't. So I just know that whatever Nisayan Hashem gives me on my way, and on the path of life, all these little struggles, overcome them. Boom. That's the goal. I'll send you another. You could. It's very hard for me to express it in English. Kilo, I'm trying to imagine. You get a call from the FBI and they tell you, we see your personality. We want you as a secret something.
I heard a
around the
podcast
world.
just about this, but for
I
different
didn't
story
hear
for a different time.
Okay.
Okay.
They seek you out, by the way. It's a great example because FBI moment, they seek you out. They're looking into your records, whatever.
Okay, but now in order for you to be the top guy that will serve somewhere around the world, we would make you as a simple officer in Manhattan, Fifth Avenue. Your job is to give tickets, to make things clear. The roads should be okay. Now their mind is, by putting you there, your tzedek, first of all, your self-confidence will come up. Your officer, you giving tickets, your MS will be built up more because you'll see evil on the road and you'll do. Now you get into the job and you don't know about that part of being an FBI top server around the world. They told you should be an officer. So you set for yourself a goal. I want to be the best officer in 2 years. I want to give the most tickets. I want this street should be perfect. People will be able to. You have a certain goals that you're setting to yourself. And you are being that person. Now you don't have that while you're giving these tickets and making sure that everything's okay, you are building to yourself such amazing skills that will serve you there. Now, you might have a failure by a certain time that you saw someone stealing something and you are not able to get to him. That was a struggle of yours. Finally, Baruch Hashem, you overcome that struggle. You got him or you didn't get him. These are the ups and downs in life. Were you building to yourself spiritual skills for Olam Haba? So it's beautiful that you have a goal. There would be two officers. One set for himself a goal. I want to be the best officer. I want this street, this boulevard to be perfect. People will be able to go here with bitachon, like they will have trust and secured. They will be. It's beautiful goals. It's amazing goals. But you have a much bigger goal. So this is exactly what's happening in this world. But instead of 2 years, people are setting for themselves a goal. When I'll be 60, when I'll be 70. You're right. It's the best thing to be the best officer. And a person should have a goal for his life. But don't forget that you have a much more bigger goal in this whole world. All these small struggles you have on the way, when that thief will take and you'll be running, you are building right now confidence to yourself. And that's the MS go. You do have a goal to get that wallet back to that old lady, or this person is driving like a chayara and you're making sure he shouldn't drive. Beautiful. But while doing that, you're building real skills that will serve you when you'll be that FBI person. Same too. In this world, you're building yourself a goal. Yeah, when I'll be 70, when I'll be 80, don't forget that the real goal is meeting all these struggles, overcome them. You build to yourself a spiritual muscle in you. That spiritual muscle, I don't have a name for it, but it's the overcoming Yetzer Hara muscle. Made me closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All these things, and that's the real emes goal. So maybe I'm wrong that I don't have a goal to myself. I'm just letting life right now. You asked me if I'm a chassan teacher before the podcast.
I want to touch on that also, but yeah.
I gave chassan classes to chassanim. Do I see it as, I don't know, kilu, yeah, when I meet a chassan, I struggle. Maybe the word struggle, I'm using it too much and it's not the right word in English, but it's a avoida for me. So yes, I have right now the goal for him.
I think it's the bonding over the same nisyan, I guess.
Yeah, it's nisyanot that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends you, and I'm ready. Wherever nisayan Hashem's giving, or fall down, or you get back up, like the beautiful song.
Yeah. Wow. Can we touch on that? You mentioned about being a chassan teacher or not a chassan teacher. What does that entail exactly? What do you speak to guys about? What does the conversation look like?
So it's also something that started by coincidence. When I used to be in that kollel in Yerushalayim, so that kollel is learning for Rabbanut. So Baruch Hashem, I finished the Rabbanut test. And in kollel, once, I don't remember who exactly came and said that there is a secular chassan that's about to get married. And according to the laws of Medinat Israel, a kala could not get married unless she went to a kala teacher.
Really?
The chassan doesn't need to go. The kala needs to go.
Wow.
But that kala got him all excited about the halachas, and they're looking for someone to sit with him over the halachas very quick, just to go through it. So I said, yeah, I want to do it. I'll be more than happy to do it. So we sat for one time. We went through the halachas slowly. And he got excited, so we went for another time. And then I started speaking to him about relationship, like what is, and we, in the kollel, we did have twice a week courses about Judaism. Besides learning Torah, twice a week courses about Judaism for Kiruv. It was a program called Ner Le'elef. They worked with the kollel.
Wow.
So I did have some skills about relationships and marriage life. So I spilled out the knowledge, and it was so beautiful to see his eyes lit up, because he wasn't a chassan. He did live with his girlfriend for 3-4 years. He knows about relationship. Mm-hmm. It's not like a chassan that got engaged, and it's beautiful, that beautiful smiles in between the engagement. But it's beautiful. It's nice, it's sweet. It's like, it's not the real life. Like once you get married and you go into a relationship, that's an avoida. So to see his eyes lit when he relates to the examples that I give.
Such as what?
For example, the sense of what we're doing right now, talking, male and female are not doing the same thing when we talk. It's one example out of a million examples. When male talk, it's going to sound bad. But we're giving information or trying to show off. That's what we do. And again, it's I can't give it as it sounds bad, and I can't give it as a general, because out of that general there's a lot. But in a relationship, there is a lot of emes by that sentence. When women talk, they connect. This is how they connect. So when my wife talks to me, she's connecting right now. I'm hearing information. We're not talking the same language right now. And there's an example that I love giving. It's a beautiful example that even someone that's not in a relationship could relate to. When I just got married, maybe 2 years after I got married, I come home after Folden, Kollel, and I need k'tzat quiet. I didn't have the car then from you walked here. So I walked as well, boiling hot, and I come to the house and we sit for supper, and my wife starts talking. She told me that this morning I went to do the clothing, the washing machine. I come to check if there is a detergent. Yeah. That's the right word. And it was empty. My brain told me she wants me to go out right now to buy detergent. Wow. I'm not in the mood, but I'm a big tzaddik.
Let's go.
I am going, so I'm about to get up, and she continues the story. So I went out to the store. like automatically my brain says, okay, she doesn't want me to buy detergent. Okay, so what does she want? So she continues the story. I went out to the store and I looked for the detergent. The first store I went, everything was empty. My brain automatically, information. She wants me to get up to buy detergent. Okay, so I went to another store. Okay, it's a long story how, Baruch Hashem, finally she finds a detergent. I picked it up, but it was torn.
Oh.
Now, at that point, I'm like, and my brain yells, do you want me to go buy detergent or don't you? What do you want? Kids, at the end of the story, she took the torn detergent, she went to pay, and she met Chani. Chani is engaged. It's crazy. That was the punch of the story.
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine what I went through in the last 3 minutes? I am going to the store. I'm not going to the store. I'm going to the store. I'm not going to the store. Chani got engaged. You know what I say to my friend? You want to hear something funny? Chani's engaged. Done.
No. Information given over.
Done. Now, understanding after years studying relationship, when she went to a woman in a healthy relationship needs her husband full day, nonstop. I used to say, we were sitting the whole family together, my wife's family, and I was sharing stories and stuff, and I gave that example, and I was like, a woman needs her husband 90% of the day. My sister-in-law yelled, wrong! 100% of the day, nonstop. Where he is, what is he doing? Is he thinking about me? Is he caring about where is he? What is he doing? I need him nonstop. So when she was alone in the house that morning looking for the detergent, and she had that, oh my gosh, she was alone. And she went through that moment alone. She's telling me that right now. She's having the story again. And if my eyes are into her and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm with her. She's going through a release. And then I went to the store and I'm like, okay. And I didn't find her. And I'm like, I'm with her. I'm healing her day.
Whoa.
But by me sitting there for that supper, and my eyes were not, oh my goshing. My eyes were like, what do you want? You know what happened then? She went through the day again, alone,
Wow.
double for the second time. Now, this is one example out of a million examples of relationships that if you miss it, and you miss it because you don't learn it, it's not, when I finished that supper, I feel like the biggest tzaddik. I just came home after a full day and I was ready to go to the store for you. Why are you frustrated? Why we finished that conversation? Chani got engaged. And now, when Chani got engaged, I don't care about Chani. Chani should divorce tomorrow. I don't care about Chani. I want to know, what do you want from me? So I'm sitting there, oh, Mazel Tov. She's frustrated. I'm frustrated as well because I went through a roller coaster now. She's frustrated because she went through her whole day again alone. And we're sitting there and we don't understand what just happened here. She was having a conversation. I was such a big tzaddik and we're both like non-stop in marriage life. Non-stop. And he had his girlfriend and without studying anything about the purpose of marriage life. By the way, speaking about that example, about marriage life is the best thing. We're getting into marriage life. Obviously, we have a purpose to love her and to fulfill all of her emotional and physical needs. By the way, you're signing it on the chuppah. Yeah, she'er, ksus, ve'oino. These are three things that we're committing. She'er is clothing, food. Ksut is clothing. Oino is all of her emotional and physical needs. You are committing to her, by the way. Women shouldn't hear that. You know what she's signing for you? 0. You are signing, that's your chiyuv of fulfilling her needs. That's one goal. But the second goal, as much as you put your ego down and you put your anger down and you mevatel yourself and you giving her, you become a better person. A chazan, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, should be a married person, because a married person is someone that's working on himself in a level that if you're not married, you're not able to. You don't find these emotions in you. You don't find that ego, jealousy, anger, all these emotions in you. Lo tov heyot ha'adam levado. That's a pasuk in Chumash Bereshis. A person on his own, you can work on yourself to be a better person. So obviously you do have a goal. The I don't want to call it superficial goal, but the goal is to be the best husband you can. But the much bigger goal is you becoming a better person by that.
Sounds like just being Meiser Nefesh 24/7, just sacrificing yourself 24/7.
But the reward is right away. When you
could you tell me, because right now I'm hearing like a lot of heaviness and I'm like, you might want to back out of dating over here,
When you are mekayem your chiyuv, like when you are really a good husband and you're giving her, when you see her calmness. By the way, and again, I want to say it's not like every night I come home, and when you work on yourself
Right.
more and more and more, you want to hear her. You understand what she went, just breaking through that single life into marriage life. Once you're married and you went through that, I want to hear you. I want to hear you.
Wow.
Right now, I need to put everything aside. Let's go through your day, and let's go through my day. And when you finish that, it's not dafka the day. I just one example out of a million examples. When you do your job, when you fulfill your mitzvah of being married and giving her emotionally, being there for her, there's nothing in the world that you could imagine to like, you're single. I can't give you over that feeling of shalem, of shlemut, oneness. You cannot, you Bezrat Hashem, Bekora Mamish, both of you
Amen.
married after that mahalach of breaking through the singleness and going to being one. Being one is shalem. You're whole. You can't explain it.
How's that's accomplished from multiple facets, emotionally, physically, spiritually, even. Like, they're all there to just create that.
And it's spiritually as well, because if Hashem is not there, why should I work on my ego? And when it's hard, when sometimes it's hard, like right now, to put everything aside and to be, Hashem is there. I know that's part of my avodat Hashem. It sounds bad if you do it just for avodat Hashem.
Right.
Oh, you
I was
don't
about
love
to
me?
mention that, by the way.
Yeah, you don't love me. You want to give a check, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so you're listening to me? No, but he's obviously, it's there.
But people don't think of it like that either.
What do you
Like,
mean?
it's as much as an avodah to Hashem as your wife. Like,
Yeah, nice.
if you're not fulfilling your wife's thing, you're not fulfilling Hashem's thing.
Right.
It's one and the same.
Right.
Wow,
Right.
nice.
I think Rabbi Fisher once said that your relationship with your wife is in a reflection of your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not good with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're just like, I'm saying, how could you say that? Hashem loves you in every case. But in times that you're right now, I'm just not in the mood. So you're not in the mood, and you're not in the mood.
Wow.
So yes, that's about the chassan classes.
About the oneness also, do you think that there's a misconception? Because the way you're speaking about marriage is like broadening my whole, it's nice, it's very meaningful, but this is a complete different ballgame. This is the key to unlock the greatness within inside of you and to become complete. Like, that's unreal.
So that's about that, and we
Rabbi, should we go
covered
back to the
concepts here.
IKEA story?
Oh,
What was that IKEA story?
no, the IKEA story was just back to the Meet the Israelis, and we spoke about professional, not professional. And I declare that I'm not the professional. I'm just giving the opportunity to those people to meet this weird creature. So when I was in IKEA with my wife, and I saw a Nezirah, how do you say, not a priest, a woman, a nun.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I told my wife, I'm willing to pay 1,000 shekel to sit with this woman for 2 hours.
Wow.
Who are you? What do you believe in?
Yeah.
What is your life? What are you doing? Why do you dress so weird? Modern culture, Western life, kilo lady.
Yeah.
What?
Get with it.
Yeah. What do you wake up to the morning? What's your Torah you're learning? Like, what's your
What's your
Stop.
daf?
So I'm that person for them.
Ooh, nice.
Which is a beautiful thing, but I could use that for Yiddishkeit. I come not from a place of kiruv. I'm not a kiruv. When I go to these lectures, they invite me not as a kiruv person. It's organizations that care zero about kiruv. They bring me as a sensation, as something interesting, like, and I could take it to. I could say whatever I want. I say whatever I want.
Like
I don't
what?
care. Like what? Speaking about the LGBT, I have now
Really?
the groups. My groups are 30%, 40% in the crowd that you don't recognize who's what and what is he, we. But I could say whatever I want because
Wow.
you asked me and I answer with
Can we talk
all-
about that for a minute? Because we had this conversation with a guy in yeshiva that comes to visit pretty often. And I feel like you'll say the story better, so I feel like you should take over.
With
But-
Del Bashefkin, are you
With
referring
Del
to?
Bashefkin,
Yeah. So we were discussing how there's a big distinction between Judaism and Jewish culture. And he said David Bashefkin, who's a huge professor in YU, has a podcast platform as well. He made a Hanukkah video that he posted on his Twitter account.
Okay.
And it pretty much goes through everybody's spinning dreidels and eating sufganiyot and donuts. And at the end, the video culminates with a knock on the door. They open it, and it's a gay couple, 2 men. And they invite them in, and that was the end of the video. And what David Bashefkin was doing was that as a Jewish culture, there are very strict boundaries of what's considered acceptable or not. So when there's this new phenomenon of people being openly gay or openly their sexuality, there was a lot of pushback from the Jewish community. And a lot of people attribute that towards, what do you mean? The Torah itself calls it an abomination. So, of course, we're not going to stand for it.
And the toeva, I don't know if that's the word. Like
Toeva, yeah,
toeva,
abomination.
like,
yeah, it's disgusting. It's repulsive, right?
We don't write it about a person breaking Shabbos, even though
Correct.
breaking Shabbos is skila. It's like, wow, you kaifer HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's kilo HaKadosh Baruch Hu says.
Right. In the same context, a businessman who cheats also is called by the Torah the same exact word, a toiv, an abomination.
Wow.
But that guy's in the front of shul
Wow.
with his name on the plaques, and everyone's like, "Wow, this guy's the greatest," you know. So the question was, is there space for people who maybe we're not so comfortable with, but we have to be honest? Like, are we pushing them out because the Torah says so, even though we have a lot of flaws in ourselves, or is it because of our own shortcomings that we're pushing other people out?
Very, very good question. You
That was the discussion.
When you start beautiful,
Sick.
beautiful, because when you started the question, I was like waiting to come out like, oh, what do you? Boom. The Torah says about that toeva as well, and for him, we won't push.
Give a plaque on the wall. What do you mean? Name the shul after it. How you doing?
It's a big tzaddik. Yes, it is a conversation. That's not where I meet them. It's more of like they ask me what their nusach of the question is. What do you think about now? When I say what do you think, I tell them it's not relevant what I think. When I'm dressed like that, I'm not. This is not a costume. This is who I am. This is representing, trying to represent Torah, Yiddishkeit, Hashem's want in this world. You asking me what Hashem thinks about it? Disgusting. What more? I won't start giving you the whole nature shows there is male. And nature right now shows that with surgeries you could change yourself to whatever you want. That's part. You know, there's a lot of people that are against epidural in birth. Because if Hashem created the world with the pain of birth,
So you got to go through it.
and my mother-in-law tells her daughters in every birth, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created that, and in this generation, he created epidural. So I won't go to nature created. Hashem looks at it as a disgusting thing. For me, what I'm doing from morning to night, that's what I do. If I don't have anything, most of the week, Baruch Hashem, I'm learning in Kollel. I have my chavrusis, is learning text, 1,500 years old, Gemara. A lot of times I don't understand. You know what's the most common question in the Gemara? My taima. What's the reason for that? So that's what I do. I didn't get yet to the sugya of LGBT, my taima.
Maybe this can be Gemara version 18 or whatever. Talking about LGBT.
Right now in the Daf Yomi, the Gemara is talking without my taima. It's disgusting, but talking a lot about that. But if all I'm trying to do from morning to night is to understand the my time of the Gemara. So even before I understood the my time, at first, if he says it's disgusting, done. So it's not acceptable. You have a problem. You have a struggle. I also have a struggle. What's the difference between your struggle of being, and again, I'm talking without knowing researches and stuff. You are attracted to a male. I could be sometimes, without matching my eyes, attracted to a female that is not, it's usher. So I can't, it's just, you look down, you just continue with life and done. I may be judging because they say that it's all like, it's something you can control, but okay, so you have a struggle. We all have struggles in Yiddishkeit. But again, I'm kilu judging him. No judging. You asking me what do I think about it? This is what Hashem thinks about it. Done.
Hitting all the entire spectrum right now.
My mind's like working in categories right now.
Yeah,
right?
by the way.
I'm like kumsitz, hostages, chassan classes, liberals. That's wild.
But the main thing that right now is in my brain, and you know, some people sometimes I make fun of me. What are you gonna do when they're all gonna come back? What are you gonna do in life?
Right.
So Baruch Hashem, my daily day is through my chavrusas. I mean, I have until 1 o'clock. I have chavrusas the whole day.
By the way, thank you so much for making time for this. It's so incredible.
Yeah, it's
and with no WhatsApp also. It's right. No WhatsApp for right. You recommitted.
Baruch Hashem, I recommitted. I held that Kabbalah of no WhatsApp until 1 o'clock for half a year. And last week by Reb Shaiber Moshe, I went again, and I took upon myself the Kabbalah just to get a little out, back to normal, healthy, just to see. My chavrusa is here. I finished my chavrusa the first day. I'm like spontaneously, my hand is in the pocket.
Wow, yeah.
It's not here. I finished the other chavrusa. Yes.
Nice.
Zelo po.
Nice.
So, and second Seder, Baruch Hashem, I have a shir and I'm busy.
Yeah.
But it's my life. This
What is?
time, the hostages. It is there. I mean, it's not like every day we have an event, but I'm there. I'm there with all my heart. It's crazy.
How are you so involved with it?
I think the Hungary trip, you know, I told you that last year in the hostage square, we used to have kumzitzim. The end of the winter, my son had bar mitzvah, then we had another baby, and then my daughter had a bas mitzvah. So kind of 5 months I was out of it. But then when I sent that song to that lady from that organization, and she told me, send your
Passport.
Sitting with them for 48 hours on the bus changed my life. Changed my life. In Israel, the word hostage families is for a lot of people. A lot of people. Oh, it's politics. It's politics, yes, because a lot of, and again, I don't understand politics, but a lot of people that hate Bibi took the hostage story to a place where we could throw him out of the government. Like, it's all your fault. They took hostage the hostage families.
Wow.
So whenever I go with the hostage families, oh, you're against Bibi. I don't care about Bibi. I don't care about anything. This mother doesn't care about anything as well. Her son is in Gaza. Done, period. And she's not sleeping for almost 500 days. Done. She's not in politics. She's not holding a certain place in the
political stance.
Nothing. She wants her son back. And you know what she does for it? She davens. She's not demonstrating. She's not doing anything. And when you're there and you feel them, you can't get over it. So right after that, we had Simchas Torah with the families. I had the schus to be Simchas Torah with the families, with my family. And then Poland trip. And you know, my mother also used to act like, are they being mitchazek in Yiddishkeit? Are they getting closer? And not all of them. I don't know and I don't care. I just feel for them as people. And I brought my mother to a trip up north 3 weeks ago. And I brought her. She's trapped as well. Totally.
Nice.
Totally in there, feeling for these people. You know, they say the people that were chosen by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they all say we don't want to be, we don't want to be chosen. But no, thank you. But you were chosen by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be kapara for Klal Yisrael. And they need our support. They need our support, the love. And even if you're not reaching them, davening. To remember the names, to daven. Shem Yazor, it should all be over.
I really feel, I really feel like I have a block on it.
You don't know anything about it?
No, I'm intellectually aware, but I know that. How do you balance it? Meaning you have a family, you have responsibilities, and like it's such a emotionally draining giving over that I can't imagine that I know that I think if I give myself over, like I'm done, I'm cooked.
You are so right. When I came back from Hungary, Chaval, my wife, could not be interviewed. I was meshuga for a week.
Wow.
Meshuga for a week. I wrote my memories, and I'll try putting it in ChatGPT. It's long, but I'm writing my brain, not in a fancy way, just wrote my brain to myself. Wow. I wrote chapter 1, I sent it to the group. And the emotions, and we became like a family. And I was dragged into, and I didn't forget that I have a family, but I left my family for that week. I'm here in the house on WhatsApp and seeing them and talk to them. Like we became mamash a family, and I needed to mamash to get away. It dragged me in on WhatsApp the whole time, and then writing chapter 2, and I found myself 2:00 in the morning still writing my memories. Wow. Just to let it out and to get comments from the group, from the parents and the brothers, and to be there it's very hard. When I came back now with my mother, so I can't say I got used to it. You don't get used to it, but okay, finish the trip, I'm back to life.
The boundaries.
My mother was like Thursday and Friday, and how she's doing. I don't know, mommy, I'll check out. Kilu, obviously when you do it more and more, and you could balance it out. But it was such a great question, because Bemet, the first trip in Hungary, I couldn't get out of it. Get out of it.
This was just like a week ago, no?
What?
The trip to...
No, so we had Hungary, Elosman, and then Simchas Torah with the families, and Poland trip 2 months ago, and then up north like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Before Simchas Torah, my kids didn't want to come. Like they have their shul, their
course.
candies, they're the gabayim. They say they give Sefer Torah here, there. Why do I have to go with them? I told them, imagine 8 billion people around the world. Wherever you go in the world, I was in Hungary last week, sitting in the lounge on the TV. Trump, Israel hostages, Trump, all hell break, blah blah. The whole world is caring about these 101 families. It was then Simchas Torah. We have the schos from all the world to be the ones to give them chizuk. We should thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It was a chag in a hotel. They were very excited.
Ooh, nice.
They got candy from Simchas Torah to the end of days, candies and whatever. But in the beginning, but it's a schos. It's a schos, non-stop thanking HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he brought me there into that shlichut.
It's such a blessing. How did you find the balance, if you have found the balance?
I didn't. We're speaking about the struggle.
Yeah.
One of the struggles.
Do you feel like you're lucky in that sense? Do you feel like that you're giving the kapar for the rest of Klal Yisrael a little bit?
What in that struggle? I didn't think that.
Interesting.
But thinking if I'm balanced, no. I sometimes like being dragged more, and I forget about the family and when I'm with it. And I think I spoke about it with Zach last week.
Shout out Zach Freud.
Zach Freud. Look at Zach
Fifth
Freud.
podcast, baby.
Let's go.
I spoke to him about it when we spoke about that, hostages and the schos. I told him, what am I going to talk to them about the podcast? And Zach was like, what do you mean? You inspire people around the world. I told him, but it's such a hard, a lot of part of it is when we spoke right in the beginning, we spoke about me being in Kollel and having that part of me that wants to pop out. Now that part is having a blast. And I come back from Hungary, and yes, I inspired them, and we had that podcast on the bus, and people were crying. So a lot of that is spiritual fun. Wow, but a lot of, I don't know if to call it ego, but that part is.
I'm relating to you so much.
Look at me, Yitzy, look at me. And when I finish a kumzitz, and we did mitchazek and inspired in that, but that little kid is
It's thriving.
and if someone would come do a selfie, I'm like, but inside I'm like, yo, thank you. You're healing me. Those 12 years, you're healing it. I'm trying to fight those feelings, but you can't fight it.
No.
Reality, you finished 4 days in Poland, and we're on the way back to Israel, and the families tell you, oh my gosh, and you did it so professional on the mic. When you were sang, you opened my heart. So these two parts, first of all, yes, wow, thank you so much. But that part is there, so strong. But who says it's usher?
Of course.
It's
right?
not usher, it's human. But you don't want to do it only for that. Kitza, let's add another struggle to the list.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, this is something, I don't know, this is something, the biggest...
So while you're relating to it,
the
because right
biggest
now,
struggle is this podcast, is that the amount of work that we do is insane. Like, my dad was asking me, he said, take me through your schedule. It's like, oh, so it's about 8 hours of research per guest, statistics, facts, and then the logistics, and then the travel, and then on the way back, the editing, just going on and on and on. And then it's like, wait, what about my self-growth? What about when I like to learn to connect to guys? And it's so hard to, and right now, there's no balance. I don't think there's a balance.
There's no balance.
And when you just said, he asked you're like, did you master the balance? You're like, no. And I was like, well, and that's a challenge. I'm very aware of it. And we'll see. My tendency, by the way, I was like, I don't know, one day we did 3 podcasts and we came back at God knows what time. I'm like, that's it. From now on, I'm starting off every day. Chakras, 2 hours Seder, learning with my guy, and then I'll have the podcast. And of course, that's not reality. I can't dictate when my guests are going to be available. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle.
Yes.
And I don't have the answers,
So for me now, right now, as a after Rebbe and Fisher's 4.5 years, so my job right now as a tzaddik, as the person he's a Rebbe, I should tell you, listen, the way how to balance it is, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm relating to what you're going through right now. Yes, I'm relating to it. We spoke about before about to relate. So I went to Kedusha and Tefillah and stuff. This, life, so many that I don't have examples, but this is a very, very beautiful thing that I could relate to your struggle. And it is to balance that place of L'Shem Shamayim or from my inner self, ego, business, like all these things, try balancing it and remembering. So maybe that's the main goal of this podcast from my side, is maybe, yes, to bring out the point of all these feelings and stuff that we're going through, is to remember the main goal. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought me into all these places. That moment that I should send her that message, and even starting the kumzitzim, was someone heard from someone, Hashem, you dragged me in there. And all these emotions, ego emotions and covered emotions, and all these things that I'm going through, you dragged me in there. Obviously, you want something much bigger for the next world. Try working on yourself, and you'll fall and you'll get back up, and sometimes ego will pop up and you'll stultz out someone out, and sometimes all these things that are coming within the package of doing things in public. Hashem, you send me, I'll try overcome these nisyanas, and when I fall down, I'll remember that there is a beautiful niggin of, you fall down, you get back.
Shah Joey. Up next.
Very possibly in the works.
Yeah, beautiful. Wow, we covered so many topics. Sorry, help me out over here. We started off with a little story from Gaza, from the
hostages,
survivors.
You came out with a bang right there. That was passion. I was like, whoa.
That was
yeah.
great.
Well, the hungry
trip.
trip.
Yeah.
And we're back. You see, I'm not over it.
Yeah.
Yet.
I love how you circled back.
We're full sending. We're in it. We're in deep. What do we move to?
Yeah. And then we spoke about chassan classes and relationships, emotional connection,
Emotional and
physical, spiritual, the idea of oneness.
Being a Rebbe.
Yes.
Being a Rebbe, you should know, I'm sure you're a Baim as well. When you come to Rebbe, for me, growing up, a Rebbe was Rav Scheinberg. That's Rebbe. Rav Scheinberg, a guy, a Yid, Heilige Yid, 80, 90 years old, biggest tzaddik in the world. He knows everything. My Rebbeim in Yeshiva were 50, 60 years old. When my brother became a Rebbe, he was in a few yeshivas, and I see the guys call him Rebbe, and they take every word of his as
God's word.
God's word. Like, it's my dude. Like, it's my brother. Right?
Yeah.
We're chillax, everybody.
we're doing jokes. I don't know if it's another challenge for Rebbeim, but they're healthy human beings that are struggling in the same, not exactly the same areas. They're not for sure not Fisher boys that are struggling, Bemet struggling open with themselves, struggling with low stuff. But everyone's going through, and maybe the biggest example is Rabbi Fisher himself. And just respect them as heilige human people. They're not like he went through everything. He's struggling and he's still working on himself. He's still trying to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So,
I think it's a beautiful message to wrap up with, Rebbe.
Wow.
I don't know if we're going to say Rebbe anymore. I think
So,
we're going to keep it. You're slipping up. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. And I'm looking forward to part 2.
Bezrat Hashem.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Shkoyach. Thank you so much.